Okay, so this is going to be the beginning of part two. I've already been working on this, obviously, and I kind of showed you, it was like half hour ago that I'd finished the top side, and I'd already kind of started on the bottom side. Now I unplugged the drop targets, um, and I took that off. I've already started, that's why you have some bracket screws here, lamp screws. Got a bag of those. Um, and what I was just been working on, I'm going to go ahead and take a break for lunch here. But what I have been working on, I had done this one a long time ago, and in one of my other Yopsicle videos, uh, David Yop, which these are Yopsicles right here. It's just a little flat, like circuit board LED. It gets rid of all your sockets, kind of like this. This is a GI socket, but um, it gets rid of all your insert sockets. That way you don't have any flickering. They work great. I absolutely love them. Highly endorse them. Guy's awesome. Now me and him kind of talk about other random stuff. But in one of my videos, he kind of mentioned, his OCD would never let him leave the little tags on there. I guess I didn't think about it or it didn't catch my eye or whatever. But ever since he said that, now they bug the crap out of me. So, what I'm talking about is that little guy is on the side of these. So now I've been going around just now and I've been cutting all of them off that happen to still be on because they're not always still on there. Um, like, see, there's one right there hanging out. Those are all gone. There's one right there. There's one there. There's two. Oh, I also on rollovers. Um, I now do two of them and I do one on each side. Then I just do a little jumper. So that way you get light, get a full 360 instead of just not. On some games, it doesn't really matter because you can kind of just do like the bottom side and it's just fine. But on games where you're seeing both sides of it really good, let's see, like right there, this is all loose already, but and all you got to do is make sure that the little pin, just have this on each side of it, and just really, it can even be under the leaf a little bit because the leaf is further away from the playfield, so this fits under it. You just got to make sure that you're not touching, you know, right there where that little, that's where the star point is coming through and hitting the contact. So you just kind of want to make sure that's all not touching. So yeah, I've just been going through and been cutting off all those tags, making sure that those are all good now because now that he mentioned it, it's kind of like a little earworm. So normally I do that during install now, but uh, one thing that will need to be changed on the new playfield, which I even asked about this in the Galaxy group and stuff like that. My two tops here, you can see this is green and green. So I used a green and a green, um, Yopsicle. This playfield is original, and the original, I have another original hanging in my hallway. So this one will end up getting hung in the hallway, and I'm going to keep this one. And the other original, because it's a lot more beat up, one of my buddies wants that to hang on his wall. But what I was getting at, original playfield, green and green inserts. CPR, green and purple. Oh, so the CPR is wrong, right? The other original I have is green and purple. This one's green and green. And then I look it up online, go through the pinball database, talk to other people about it. It's like 50-50. So it was just maybe the first, let's say they did this for 1 year. The first 6 months they did them green and green, then they ran out or whatever, and they started doing green and purple. Or maybe they ran out of purples and they started doing green and green. I don't know. Um, but I just need to make sure that this is backwards. So this one will need to get swapped out for purple because that'll look weird. So if not, I'll remember as soon as I turn it on and it looks weird, right? So this is the beginning of part two. I've been going through all the lamp wiring. I've got a bag for just lamps. This is brackets. This is going to be a lot of bulbs, lamp wiring. Wiring screws are over here. They're a lot bigger, so I am keeping those separated. So there we go. This one's going to be pretty quick. I'm going to stop and go have lunch, and then I may be back here. I don't know. I mean, this is going so fast. I'm not worried about, I want to have this. Really, like today, I might just remove all the screws. So that way, the next video will be kind of me. That's probably what I'll do, is the next video will be everything's loosened up, everything's ready to go, and then I'll do one of those 30-second time lapse of me just sliding it to the other one, and then I can start just screwing it all back down. So not much going on. I did have somebody recently ask me about the staples and nails going on here. Well, the staples. Obviously, you can't reuse the staples. I have a, where is it? I have a little small guy here. It was like 50 bucks. I mean, it's, when I say small, it's like, I mean, I have big hands, but that thing's like the size of my hand here. This is pretty small. I was using my, uh, my wife's brother had a little pancake air compressor. I used it on Stellar Wars, and I had to have it at about 90 psi. And that was enough to get them perfectly flush and squeezing on the wire. Let me show you here, and I'm just using 1/4 inch Arrow T50s. That is an a Arrow also. Like I said, this was like 50 bucks. But what I'm going to go do is, I have a large air compressor out in the detached garage. I call it the barn. I'm going to go buy a small, probably a Husky, I think. It was only 50 bucks. So I'm going to go buy that thing. And it says it goes to 110 psi. I'm going to try again 90. But I figure for 50 bucks, if I'm, because now I feel like I'm only using an air compressor for airing up tires, because I have like 1/2 inch electric impacts that are really powerful. So I don't really bother airing up my air compressor that much. So I'm going to try one of these small little $50 pancakes from Home Depot and see how that works. Because I don't really need it for much. So I think a 3-gallon, Husky is going to be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this, have lunch. My next video will basically be, this is all loosened up and ready to go, and we'll just slide it over to the next one. But there you go. Everything's going smooth. Same as all the other. I don't know. I don't know if there's more or less information you want about doing Playfield swaps. I mean, a lot of other people do them, so I don't know how much information you want to use. Again, this cabinet's in really good shape. I don't even see any touch-ups on this one. So it's all pretty good. But we'll see you in the next part. Okay. It's now, what is this? Wednesday afternoon on the 1st. I did end up going to Home Depot, and they did not have the Husky. It said that they had one in stock, but there was none on display. So I said, yeah, I'm getting a 3-gallon, whatever. This is a 6-gallon rigid. It was 99 bucks. So whatever. End up trying that out, but yeah, end up getting that instead of the 3-gallon. Like, I wasn't going to make another trip or find another place. I mean, it was 99 bucks. So whatever, just a little bit bigger than what I needed. So as of now, like I said, everything is ready to go. These pop bumpers, since they have such a large hole like this, you can actually leave it completely assembled, and just, there's your pop bumper skirt, your body, everything just comes all out as one piece. So, because those like skirts, they're not that old. I've replaced them before. So they don't really need rebuilt or replaced or anything. I've already been through taking off all the switches, wrap it in tape, like I mentioned, because you have like all those layers. So if you take the 2 screws out, they can just fall apart and you have a bunch of pieces. So I always just wrap them in tape, just kind of leave them like that. Let's see. I did find this bracket, you can see, is broke right there. So that's the only place that holds the flipper bracket in piece. So that's why down here somebody had screwed it on the outside, and outside was to hold this lower bracket in place. So along with the ball form bracket, this lower one that I've already welded, I'm going to order a new flipper bracket for this side. I'm partially, depending on the price of them, I'm partially thinking about just ordering one for this side too. I also need, I have them in stock, but like I didn't do these. I've done the plungers and coil stops, but I didn't do the Playfield bushings. So those need done this time around. I don't know if I didn't have them or what was going on, but I know I have them now. So, but at this point, everything's loose. Everything's ready to get moved over. There was hardly any staples in this thing. They really only stapled it like the sockets, like this, the ones that sit like flush, the back box style brackets. Those were that's the only staples that were in this. So I guess maybe because of the hard wire that they use, they figured, like I said, I don't know if this hard wire is factory or not, but I'm also not seeing holes where there used to be staples. Now there's not. Any place where there's a decent run. So, for instance, like here, if that was a braided wire, I would expect there to be, staple right there, which, I mean, usually even braided wires are so tight, I don't see them moving, but there's no staple mark. So this could be a factory thing. So new to me. Again, no staple marks anywhere. It's just they stapled down these flat back box sockets. And that was it. I do need to order because I still need two new. I have a couple sockets here, but since I'm adding 3 or 4 GI bulbs to this one, and I've got a couple that I need to put on Stellar Wars, I'm waiting for that order to come in. So I've got like I ordered like 10 or 15 back box sockets. I don't use them that much, so I've got a couple here. So I only really needed like 2, so I think I'll have like 8 extra. But at this point, this is ready to slide over to the other playfield. So we're good to go. Everything's loose and ready to go. And you can see this is how this is the on this game at least. A lot of times, it goes down to the braided wire and it's a hard wire, but on this one, since it used the it goes straight here. This is where, so for the pop bumpers, they're all soldered in. So actually, now that I say that, this game I soldered in new sockets, and it actually still uses now it uses a wedge bulb. So instead of a bayonet, it's a wedge bulb for these pop bumpers. Now that I say that, yeah, I haven't done the pop bumper LEDs, the big discs. I haven't done that on this game. So, but they work fine. They don't blink, and it's all in one piece. So I don't really need to redo that at all. I think depending on what time it is, I might go ahead and just set this in the floor in the arcade and slide it over. Maybe just then call it a day. What time is it? It's 3:30. So I could easily have that set up, slid over, and kind of mount it a little bit. Because right now, like I still have these 2 screws in just so the harness isn't pulling on the on all the stuff. So if I could get the other game back to this spot, and that probably only should take, say, even an hour at the worst. So yeah, might go ahead and do that, knock that out before dinner, and just have it back to this spot for reassembly. So there you go. See you later. Okay, time lapse is over. This is the new Playfield over here in the cab, and it is 4:07. So that only took about half an hour. So um, right now everything's just laying on here, nothing screwed down besides the two screws up there just to stop the harness from pulling on it. So I guess I'll spend about a half an hour or so and go ahead and just screw down the stuff that doesn't really have to be like aligned. Like, I mean, yeah, there's the dot for the screw, but you can just go around and screw all the lamps in. I don't have to worry about aligning the pop bumper spoon and stuff like that. So all the stuff that doesn't really need to be aligned, all the inserts basically, um, just all the easy stuff. I'm gonna go run around and just screw a lot of this down real quick, just to you know get as much progress as I can done here in about the next 20 minutes or so. But then, yeah, need to do a little quick parts order. So then I'll have to get the compressor out. And so get that ready to go. Maybe tomorrow after work or something. I'll be close to wrapping this up pretty much. So there we go. Okay, just a little update as I'm getting ready to get started again. I was out here last night for a little bit. What was I doing? Started doing all the rollover switches are installed. Brackets are all now fully installed, along with like the slings, like the actual rods. Yeah. Come on. So that's done. So those are all bolted down. I did pretty much all the switches are now mounted. Pop bumpers are fully mounted. I spent a lot of time I went through last night, and I basically like cleaned the coils because they're just covered in dust and coil dust, and you really just don't want that like all over your playfield. So um, if the plungers were in good shape, uh, I just went through and cleaned them. I just take like a magic eraser, scrub them, just make sure they're perfectly clean and smooth, dry them off. Uh, I did do new bushings and all of them. That's just, I know it's not a lot, but this thing has like 10 coils on it. And when you're dealing with plungers, these can be $10, $12 each sometimes. So it just kind of gets a little bit crazy. So, um, if they're fine and they don't need it, I don't worry about it. Um, Flippers, I'm a lot more picky about them, but even these, I have some. Like if they needed it, I have some here. These are a little bit different. Let's see if you can see. These have a different end on them, whereas like the flippers are those styles. So I do have them if I need them, but went through new bushings because bushings are like 50 cents each. Couple of the coil stops I did replace if they needed it. Besides that, really just scrubbing and cleaning, making sure it's all just no dirt. I've got all the lamps are down. I did a bunch of the bracket cleaning. Just that's pretty much what I did last night. So I did find this bracket is broke. That was easy to find. So I went ahead and just ordered two new brackets. So these will get refreshed whenever I get the brackets because it all has to come apart anyway. So those are mounted, but they haven't been rebuilt or anything. So still, yeah, heck, that one's even missing a screw. But yeah, the Playfield bushings are kind of rough. The metal bracket and the apron that was cracked that I rewelded, I did find a new one of those. It was kind of from an odd place, but it was the only place I could find it. And with shipping, it was like $50 for that one bracket. So, oh well. So I think what I need to do next is, which is annoying. These, for some reason on this game, these are all flathead screws, and I hate flathead screws. So I need to go through, do all the actual switches. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of those. After that, 13, 14, there's another one. Another rollover right here. After those 14 spoons need to be aligned. Okay. Yeah. So after those 14 switches, I'll do the spoons. And then I have to flip it over and do the, I gotta clean the clear coat out of the star rollovers. So let me see where it is. So I have like a little tester here that has a little, these snap into place with like a little arrowhead. So you just take one, like an old one, and just snip it off so you can take it in and out, make sure it moves freely before you snap in the new ones. My new ones are around here somewhere. I got a mess again already. Yeah, here's my bag of new ones. And I think, yeah, I put it away, but I was going to show you the little bit. Well, it's kind of like this. You can even see that. So it's like a little grinding bit. That has some crap on it, so I might swap it out. That's from wood, but it's basically a little grinding bit, and I use that to get rid of all the clear coat in the, just in a Dremel. Side note, I went to go get the Husky one for $50. Said they had one in stock. He's like, I've never even seen that one. They couldn't find it anywhere. So instead of the 3-gallon Husky, I went with the 6-gallon rigid. It works fine. That air hose sucks, even though it's 25 feet. At like 2 feet, it's pulling on you pretty hard. Like it's too stiff or something. So I'll probably swap that out for just a normal. I don't know, because I'm not really going to use this compressor much, so I might leave it. But it's just that, like, this is 25 foot long, and right there I already have a decent amount of it pulling against me. That, or I need to stretch it. I don't know. Yeah, and then I still need to do the rubbers and stuff, but that'll be last. But a couple more hours. I'm gonna say probably about an hour or so from now, I'll be working on the star rollovers, and then parts are supposed to show up Monday, but they're saying anything from like 9 to 24 inches of snow on Sunday. So Monday I might not get my final parts, but that's why I went ahead and assembled it with these, because I can go ahead and just put these in. I can swap that stuff out later. No big deal. So okay, time to get to work. Okay, here it is. It's pretty close to done at this point. Um, I just turned it on for the first time, let's say 10 minutes ago. Um, did have one little issue. Um, one of the GI bulbs for up top had a shorted wire, so we had a little bit of smoke coming out of like a little jumper wire. So didn't even blow the fuse, but I saw the smoke, shut it off. Um, and then, yeah, just fixed the little short that I had. Everything came back to life at that point. Um, right now I do have a couple switches that need adjusted. Obviously, like this one's not working. Forget, oh, the trough switch down here, the ball eject is not working. But I mean, that's just adjusting switches. I'm still waiting on the new plates to show up. So these are the new bushings. I went ahead and put those in because I have a ton of different kinds of bushings. So I just went through my tub, found 2 new ones. Um, Also, as you can see here, like that's lit up. The purple LEDs in general just aren't very bright. Um, but on the old Playfield, I put purple ones in there uh, just to make it look a little bit more purple. Um, so now that this has good purple inserts, I need to just swap those out with some white bulbs because they're just not showing up very bright. I assume that one's going to be the same way, but it doesn't show up during. I guess I can do. There we go. There's this bulb test. So you can see it's not that bright. So my problem too, bulb. Um, Besides that, uh, I had to adjust the candy cane a little bit up here. It was a little tight. It wasn't really getting through, so I had to, kind of loosen that up and pull this over and tighten it back down. Um, that's about it. I'm trying to adjust. This is supposed to come around and hit the pop bumper and then do something, either go up or down. Um, but man, it was just so tight. It was actually just coming around, just missing, just going straight down the. outlane here. So I just kind of put a little bit more curve in this last section. That way, at least comes up and hits it, and sometimes it goes up, sometimes it go down. But that's better. So this will be the end of part 2, I guess. Officially the end of part 2. Because like I said, now everything pretty much works. It's just going to be adjusting switches, assuming there's not a wiring issue, since it's just one here and one here. Oh, sorry, one here, one down here. Those are the only two that aren't working. Everything else seems fine. I think we're good. Obviously, I need to put all the plastics back on. I'm still waiting on my other set of bulbs sockets, so that one's not in. Those two, obviously, those two are the new two. So that one and that one are the two new ones. Fill out that arch a little bit better. So change out 3 obstacles to just white ones, adjust some switches, and we will be back for the final series, final part. Because today's the day of the snowstorm. It's Sunday. So I've been going out and plowing the whole entire, all the way out to the next road, because I'm the last house on a dead end road. And I have a side-by-side with a plow in the front. So I've been going out there every couple hours and just kind of going all the way to the road and back. So I need to go do that again. So we're all good. This is it. So stay tuned for the next part. The next part will just be pretty much gameplay. Do a quick little once over. I do need to check voltage on the up here. So the last time I mentioned, I've had this game turn off a couple of times, like a couple hours into a tournament, it would turn off. And then you just turn it on, turn it off, turn it back on, and it's fine for a couple more hours. But I noticed the MPU is usually at 4.8, so I need to kind of go through and see where its 5-volt is over here and see what's going on here. So not bad. This, like I said, this one has 7-digit Wolfpack displays in blue. Those are, yeah, it's a Weebly board, Weebly solenoid driver board, and I don't know whose lamp board that is before I call somebody out. Alltech. So, Alltech lamp board. Other two are Weeblies. But there you go. That's it in a nutshell for now. And I'll see you guys in about a week or so to get the gameplay video up. See you later.